Nitanshi, you started by talking about how important data is, and it actually is important, and it is becoming all the more key element of any marketing strategy. So with data, there is need for analytics, and when you combine data and analytics, you are on that path of cracking the personalization puzzle, right? So,
Yes.
so help me walk through an example of how the company can effectively harness the data analytics and kind of create the right touch point, because these enterprises are talking to buying committee. The gone are the days when one person will be taking buying decisions. Instead, you
Yes.
need to touch different people, and I guess data can play a pivotal role here, right? So how
Yeah.
would you go about defining the data strategy?
Yeah. So, see, this is kind of very pivotal to your data is very pivotal to your overall marketing strategy, and the fact that there so th- some of the things which I see generally is that many companies in a hurry to scale, they start purchasing data. I mean, I'm talking about the customer
Hmm.
data first, right?
Yeah.
So don't purchase data, right? If you have to, then it can be to kind of enrich your this thing. So when we talk about buying committees, for example, if you have had if you're trying to crack an account where you know a few decision makers, but you don't know who the influencers would be, right? So to get the right set of people in your data, it is first important to understand your bio performance. First,
Hmm.
that becomes the basics, right? And as I said, that at the and this becomes important when you're launching a product or you are a new company. When you are doing this product market fit, it is at that time you start understanding your customers, right? And who exactly are these people. So buyer
Hmm.
personas, what is their job title? What is the level? Which are the buying centers we are talking about? Those kind of things become very, very important to understand. So then you know who these decision makers are, who influencers are. If you are
Hmm.
going to purchase the data, it is very important to focus on buying personas and then only buying. And then the second is that you should have be able to reach that. Today you have GDPR and all, you might end up purchasing the data, most of which you may not be able to even email, right? Then
Hmm.
what's the point? So it is important to understand at the same time that the data should be, you should be able to reach these people. They should be emailable, callable, all those things should be there.
Hmm.
But my advice always is never purchase data. Try to depend more on your marketing strategies and demand gen to kind of generate the right leads, because leads which come into your systems with certain kind of intent is much easier and less costly to convert as compared to doing cold
Hmm.
breaking the database. That mostly doesn't work and it's very costly affair as well. So that is first point. Second is intent. How do you record the intent of the person, right? And so today it is it is much more easier to record intent because we have gone on online. So you have online footprints of your
Hmm.
customers when they are coming on the on your website, when they're coming interacting with your social media, what content they are. So categorizing your content into topics and then knowing that what your customer has interacted with, if they have come to your event, if they have spoken to somebody at your company regarding something, recording all these intent signals is very, very important, because that will only help you do the personalization. And so so one is obviously getting your data right in terms of who your decision maker and influences are. The second point becomes recording the intent signals which come. It could be online, it could be offline, but recording all of them becomes very, very important. And the third point is obviously personalization, curating your content based on whether you're writing an email to these people or somebody is going to call them, or you say this person is going to write to them. But if you're not curating your messaging, then the chances of you being heard by the customer becomes very, very low. So personalization is key, and that in there the intent signals will play a huge role there, right? Because if you don't have that data, it is very difficult to kind of do any kind of personalization at all. And then the last part is that assessing, right? How everything is performing that data, right? Performance marketing data. All how your campaigns are doing, recording all that performance marketing data becomes very, very crucial, because then you are able to tie all your efforts into the right ROI, whether it is working or not. You might be doing spending huge money on marketing, but at the end of the day, whether your customer responded to it or not, whether you got the right ROI or not, is very important to know. And then changing it accordingly, right? You have to be quick in changing. You can't be running a campaign for a month, 2 months, 3 months now without actually knowing, or without actually knowing whether it is working or not, right? So you might have spent a lot of dollars and then only to realize later on that, all that money is lost for nothing. So customizing or quickly to take action quickly on your marketing strategies, it is very important to kind of read the data on a very regular basis.
Yeah, that's a great playbook to actually organize the data and get benefit out of it. It would be unfair if we talk about data and not talk about AI, right? We are seeing AI all over, and analysts are making prediction about generative enterprise, generative AI, and things like that. So, have you started using AI in your day-to-day marketing activities? Are you seeing the adoption really happening, or is it still like a fancy project where you go to ChatGPT and find out something?
See, I think in most companies, I was reading the paper today only, and I mean, especially tech companies, and even for that matter, large enterprises, all of them are asking for people who have generative AI experience. I feel in marketing, obviously, I think the adoption has already started in terms of generating content, right? So even at our company, we have started, and I mean, for us being a tech company, it was more like you have to adopt. So it is like everybody has to learn, and so that drive is immense. I see. In marketing, particularly, I've already seen adoption in terms of we've tested a few tools already which have generative AI capabilities. Then our existing vendors, we have reached out to them and asking what they are doing in terms of generative AI and how they are using AI in their own tools, right? In their own spaces. What are they going to release? Can that help us to, do things better and at a better scale? And in terms of personalization, can it help all of those things? So yes, I mean, I feel that marketing would be the best use case for AI, generative AI specifically, because for us, curating content has always been an ordeal, right? And personalization has been an ordeal in terms of to what level you go down with personalization. But I think with AI, that can be possible. There still seems to be some concern among people whether it would take our jobs. All those questions also arise. But I feel that if you are it is just like the era when the computers came and people said that everybody will lose the job, only computers will do the job. You still need somebody to run the computer. So all the computer literates got one notch up where the other people's remain lower, or may have lost jobs. So it is a technology, any technology which will ever come, it will always, it is not that it will make people lose jobs. If you're adapting the technology, you'll be in a much better place. So it's good to adopt and start using it to do something better. So I feel generative AI will also be. One concern which I still have with this is about generative AI is authenticity and building the right control points, because nobody is still thinking about it, right? What ChatGPT is giving you or a Bard is giving you, whether it is the data is correct or not, right? Whether I can believe it or not is something which I don't know. Then again, when we talk about images being generated by generative AI, somewhere somebody has to be able to recognize. So I know a lot of companies, they have already, built systems when they are building generative AI. At the same time, they have this whole control point systems as well, where you would be able to, by looking at the either file name or the backend code, you would be able to tell whether it is an original image or a generative AI image. So those control points are important, because otherwise after some point of time, we would not be able to differentiate between what is real and what is generated. So, but yeah, so that these two concerns are there, but I'm sure that as we go by, we learn with this also.
Yeah, I think one example that came to my mind right now is cinema, right? The way GFX is adopted into movies, still you need actors, you need more people to create that level of visual appeal, right? So even with
Yes.
AI coming in, it is only going to get better. And obviously, the commodity skills are going to get replaced by the need for better skills. But overall, I think the pie is going to only grow. It's not going to shrink. That's how it looks like.
Yes, absolutely.